People on a daily basis argue about who is better, LeBron James or Michael Jordan. It will forever be a debate that riles up the masses. It's not very one-sided. People are split as to whom the GOAT is. In fact, as I write this, I'm watching the NBA pregame show for the Lakers, and there is a heated debate on who is the greatest of all time, and Stephen A. Smith is vehemently defending Jordan as the greatest, while Jay Williams is passionately defending LeBron as the GOAT.
When it comes to LeBron James being ranked over MJ, I will never, ever make that proclamation.
It doesn't matter if you're in the park, your family's Thanksgiving dinner, or a sports show. We are always debating this topic between the two. For me, I'm a little biased with my answer. As a hardcore, disgruntled, and lifelong New York Knickerbocker fan, I feel like I say this all too much. I saw Michael Jordan break our hearts over and over and, well, yep, you guessed it, over. I hated him while he played, but it wasn't until after his retirement that I really appreciated what he brought to the table and what he was able to accomplish over the entirety of his illustrious career. And at that point, I said he was the greatest. But in 2003, although you can say earlier because his games were being broadcasted on ESPN while he was in high school, came along LeBron James. And ever since he stepped on the scene, the Knicks have been deplorable. And he was the player/team I rooted for because my team rarely saw the playoffs. But over time, with size, strength, and IQ, it was very clear to me that LeBron is the greatest. Again, it's just my humble opinion, and there is no right or wrong answer as some people think there is. Because yes, there is more to being the greatest than NBA titles. Otherwise, Robert Horry, aka Big Shot Bob, would be the GOAT. Out of curiosity, who do you guys think the greatest is? Again, I feel like there isn't a right or wrong answer because playing in two different eras is tough to compare. But please tell us who you think the GOAT is. Maybe it's not LeBron or Jordan to you, so please let us know in the comments who you think it is. But while these debates rage on, what's really surprising is who is saying LeBron James is better than Jordan. And yes, there are players that played with or against Jordan who think LeBron is better. But before we jump in, please remember that if you've enjoyed the video thus far and can't wait to see what ex-NBA players who played with Jordan think LeBron is better, please remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons and make sure to tell your friends and family about the journey we are about to embark on. Now let's dive in a bit deeper. I will talk about 3 ex-players who played with or against Jordan who think LeBron is better. The first player on this list is someone who Jordan had a lot of battles with back in the late 80s and early 90s. He was the head goon of the Bad Boy Pistons squad, and when he fouled you, he meant to hurt you and your children. Some of the hits he's inflicted on players and Jordan himself would be suspension-level fouls in today's game. Bill Lambiere, who also appeared on ESPN's First Take and was asked the question, "Where are you on the greatest of all time?" conversation, and in typical Lambiere fashion, he did not hesitate with his brash and bold response. "I'm very vocal. I think LeBron is the best player that's ever played the game. He's 6'8", 285 pounds, runs like the wind, and jumps out of the gym. More importantly, when he came into the league from day one, he knew how to involve his teammates to win. That's something Jordan had to learn for a long time." If you go by championships, obviously Michael Jordan has more championships, but I think LeBron, in any generation, would be doing what he's doing right now. I firmly believe that he is the best basketball player in the history of the game. I think Lambiere knows that even if LeBron played in his era, where physicality reigned supreme, he would be able to withstand and endure the punishment that would have been inflicted on him, and would have kept on motoring in towards the rim. So I think it's more of a sign of respect than anything from Lambiere. The next guy on this list that played with Jordan is Isaiah Thomas. Now, it should be noted that there has been, and still is, a ton of heat between these two. It was said the reason that Isaiah Thomas wasn't on the Dream Team in 1992 was because Michael Jordan didn't want him on it.
Did he want him on the team?
Well, I can't speak for Michael, but no, I did not want him on the team.
The whole Dream Team experience, and again, I got no problems with, the greatest player to ever play, say he don't want to play with me, or Magic saying he don't, but anybody below them? They don't want to.
So when Isaiah Thomas appeared on Undisputed and was asked who he would pick, LeBron James or Michael Jordan, it was not a shocker to see what side he fell on this debate. IT said, "I would pick LeBron James. If I'm trying to build a team, if you're trying to win a series, I'm going with the brain." And no matter what the past was between IT and Jordan, he isn't wrong. LeBron's mind is something to marvel at, on and off the court. If you want to know more about that, I encourage you to check out our video, LeBron James Has a Photographic Memory, for more insight into the legend that is LeBron. And lastly, one of the most shocking guys to come out and say that LeBron is ahead of Jordan is Jordan's longtime wingman, his compadre, the Robin to Jordan's Batman. One of the guys he was in the trenches with during 6 NBA titles, and that guy is Scottie Pippen. For you young kids, Pippen is considered one of the greatest small forwards of all time. Pippen was named to the NBA All-Defense First Team 8 consecutive times, and the All-NBA First Team 3 times. He was a 7-time NBA All-Star and was the NBA All-Star Game MVP in 1994. He was named one of the 50 greatest players in the NBA history. With that said, ESPN's First Take had him on the show to discuss a multitude of topics basketball related, and while he was on there, he was asked how close LeBron James was to catching Jordan, and he responded with a pretty unexpected answer. Pippen hesitantly muttered, "The numbers don't lie. He probably will never catch him in terms of MVP, but in terms of statistics, he's right there. When you look across the board, not just scoring, check his assists, check his rebounds, he's probably ahead of Jordan."
Check his assists, check his rebounds. He's probably ahead of Jordan.
Oh my God!
What?
I just want to throw this water on you. Let me tell you, Scottie Pippen.
You went there.
Hurry up, 'cause I gotta get in here on that one.
Blasphemy that just came out your
Max
mouth.
wants to get in this.
6 NBA
Max, are you
finals,
listening to
6
this?
NBA finals, 6 NBA finals MVPs, undefeated, never even allowed the Game 7 to take place. You're gonna go to, and by the way, speaking about numbers, you lucky I don't have more time with you. You lucky.
You are.
I'm looking at a dude that averaged just 16 points per game for his career on 47% shooting. Who would that be? You!
Yes.
And by the way, you're one of the greatest ever. It ain't just about numbers, and you know it. And last question. Can you tell me, other than scoring points and obviously shooting more, what does LeBron James do any different than what you did?
Go ahead, Max.
The fact that he said he is probably ahead of Jordan can be interpreted many ways, but how I interpret it is that he thinks LeBron is better, and he did it in such a way as to not disrespect his former teammate. Scottie and Jordan have a lot of respect for each other, so the fact that Scottie said that must mean that his conviction for his answer is strong. Now, with all of this said, other than Pippen, you can argue that Lambiere and Thomas may be saying this because of how they feel about Jordan in general, but I will overlook that and say they aren't that petty. What are your guys' thoughts? Do you think the two ex-Piston bad boys assessment is based on hate, or that they genuinely think the king is the GOAT? Let us know in the comments. Either way, the drama decades later is still as hot as it was before. You gotta love the NBA.